Kia ora, folks. Here we are, episode 3 of the Australia New Zealand Music Podcast. Welcome. Today, I'm with my dear friend and creative wizard, Robert Daglish. How are we doing, my friend?
Hello, very good. Yeah, ready to pod on the cast.
Fabulous podcasting it. Just a little bit of background information on Rob. He studied music in Christchurch, New Zealand, and has been in several projects since then, including hard rock project Skelter, and he plays a lot of gigs in and around Christchurch at the moment. But more specifically, he's focusing on a solo album under his alias Booker Brooks, who has released a few projects, or singles now at least, right? Have you released an album?
I've done one album. It's called One Way Ticket. It's on Spotify.
That's right.
Yep.
There you go. Go get your streams up. Not just that, though. He's also a mixing engineer and a producer and works out of his business, Brookside Audio. So if you're looking for something to do with those endeavors, he is your man. And just to cap it all off, he has a very fun YouTube channel called Reframe. And it focuses on personal development through the lens of music. And that is our friend Rob. And Rob, I'd just like to get our guests just to break the ice a bit, a little bit of a silly, fun fact about themselves. You got anything juicy?
Silly and fun, huh? Well, I don't know. You know, you said silly and fun, and I thought, nah, I'm going to go serious and rigid. And
there he is.
Yeah, here's my serious and rigid fact about myself, is that I like creating Notion databases. So I'm kind of like a database nerd. I like little looking at numbers go across the screen and making templates that allow me to see data in certain ways. Which
Just
is
for
very
the folks who don't know what it is. Could
Yeah.
you tell us what Notion is?
Yeah, Notion is a note-taking app, but the difference is that you can create databases in it. So it just means like you can see things like a filing cabinet, and then open up the filing cabinet and see different organizations in different ways. I've actually created a Notion database for songwriting as well. So that's just an example of my little nerdy, fun little fact.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I've used this template. Yeah, it's a handy little template for getting all the bits and bobs, all the nuts and screws to do with a song into one confined space.
Indeed.
And, you know me, I'm also a bit of a template wizard myself. We'll hear a bit more about that later on in the show.
Oh, yeah.
But first and foremost, we are here with our news of the week. Today's article comes from Mary Vivaris. It was written on the 6th of December, and it was from themusic.com.au, I believe. It was entitled, Australia's Spotify Wrapped Revealed, the artists who dominated 2024 in streams. Landing on December 5th, the Spotify Wrapped Cultural Share Fest began. Looking at the Aussie stats, it's clear dance music, which I feel is quite a broad label, is one of the most popular genres. In fact, it is now an exporting powerhouse, second only to pop music. And I'm just going to list a few facts here. The Kid Laroi was the most newly discovered Australian artist by global audiences and the most streamed artist in the Asia Pacific. The USA was named the country where Australian artists were streamed the most from outside of Australia, followed by the UK, Germany, Canada, and strangely enough, Mexico sneaking in there. A repeated title for the Wiggles as Australia's most streamed local artist, while we seem to still be obsessed with Vance Joy's Riptide as the top locally streamed track. And it wouldn't be a Spotify Wrapped story without a shout out to T Swift, of course. She was the most streamed artist of the year with her latest album, The Tortured Poets Department, which was also the most streamed album. So, we all get a bit of a buzz from the Spotify Wrapped thing. What do you think is the significance to the music scene of Spotify Wrapped and the equivalent features from other platforms? Yet, I think it's safe to say at this point that Spotify is the leading source of music listening experiences in Australia and New Zealand. So yeah, Rob, give me your thoughts on the significance to the music scene of these features.
Well, I feel like personally, we sometimes think about our Spotify Wrapped in the future and go, what's going to be on my Spotify Wrapped? And so then we sometimes go, what am I listening to? And change what we're listening to be like, well, I want it to be, something reflected on my Spotify Wrapped that I'm proud of. But
interesting.
The only reason I thought of that instantly was because, I listen to vocal warm-ups to sing. And so I'll go on my Spotify and look up vocal warm-ups and then select one. And I remember in like 2019 or something, it was my most played song and all 5 of them were. So I was just like, humph.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is the problem with it for me too. Probably for the last 4 years, my top track has been a vocal warm-up, which is in a playlist. So
yes,
obviously the top songs only add up data when you've clicked on the song. It's not the most listened song. It's the most clicked song.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had that, and then all of my other top songs were to do with teaching because a lot of Taylor Swift. I was a top 15% Taylor Swift listener. Not even a big Taylor Swift fan.
Yep.
Not a big hater,
100%.
but not a big fan. Not a 15% fan. But
no.
all of my kids want to learn this. So,
yep. I was a top 0.1% Bee Gees fan because I went on a tour for 6 weeks playing Bee Gees songs. So I had to learn all of their songs.
yes.
So for me, it wasn't reflective. But I think for most people in society, it totally is reflective because they're not like doing these music jobs. So culturally, what does that mean? I mean, when we share our Spotify Wrapped, we're kind of proud of it. We're like, hey, this is what I listen to. And then it allows you to connect to other people who listen to the similar music. They might post it as their story and then you see that they've posted that they listen to that artist and it's your top artist as well. You can then connect and become friends on that level.
Totally. I think that is what they've gone for. They've gone for this opening a tool of connectivity through musical tastes. And musical taste is one of those things that is a pillar of connectivity at large. We often gravitate towards people with a similar musical taste, especially in our teenage years. I find that often high school groups are defined by musical taste.
Definitely.
In many contexts. Yeah.
100%. I was in the metalcore scene because I was in a metal band, and all of my friends listen to metal, and then all of the friends from different schools listen to metal. So that's how we connected.
Yeah.
I have a question. Is the data about Wrapped publicly available? So what artists are the biggest in whatever genre? Obviously that article says some of that, so maybe it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if the data is publicly available or not. They're somehow getting their hands on it. So they got their hands on it very quick too. They got their hands on it the day after. However, Spotify could be collaborating with these news outlets, these media outlets to further get momentum behind the Wrapped thing.
For sure.
So they give them access to the data to like pick and choose what they find interesting for their specific audience, because there's a whole other global stats that I've read too, which is slightly different. But we're focusing in on Australia here in this article. But maybe it is publicly available. Not sure.
And I'm wondering if it is, then can individual independent artists leverage that in some ways to inform their music? Not that kind of works against what I think is the best way for an artist to maybe write music, but like it might be a strategic way that some people could change their music to suit some form of popularity. if they're looking to
Well,
do
I think
that.
that reflects, yeah. I think that reflects on something else that you mentioned earlier, is that you're almost trying to cherry pick your Spotify Wrapped so it displays a certain amount of songs or artists or taste that you're trying to like wear as a persona, a personality.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not the same thing if an artist was doing that too, using that data to try and predict the future self, project themselves into their future and a taste that they're trying to offer?
Yeah. It's certainly not the way that I would think that truly popular music becomes popular. Like by using that data. I'm thinking that might be something that some people try to do with that data if it is available. I personally think like the Riptide thing is a huge reflection of the power of like a good song that's kind of authentically written, and that can have any kind of skin, or production to it, so it could be a dance song, but it's a well-written song. It has interesting melodies and lyrics that capture people, and then that's
Totally.
timeless.
And that was released in 2013. That
Riptide.
really has passed the timeless test. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like cover band kind of level. You play it in a covers band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Totally. And everyone knows it, for sure. Were there any other stats that grabbed your attention that I whizzed by there?
I'm just questioning, like, what about Taylor Swift makes her this like powerhouse for so many years? Like she's been in it, she's been doing it, and I get like what we just said kind of might apply. She writes great songs, and they're authentic, no matter the clothes, because she's done lots of different genres.
Yeah.
But what about her? It's more than music.
You know what I think with her songs in particular? I think her songs offer a sense of fantasy and simpleness that I think we underestimate how much people want to escape into that world through music. Like it's not political, it's not controversial, it's often just about love, and like what we would call almost like Disney love, like silly tales about people falling in love. And like I said, not a hater, I think there's an audience there that might have been neglected over the past few years. It's fair to say that this was her climax, though. Like I seen the global stats, top 10 albums streamed this year. 3 of them were Taylor Swift. I think she was number 1, number 4, and number 6.
Yes.
So that's stardom.
That's telling. Yeah.
That's bigger than talent. That's stardom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite intense. Do you think she's strategic in this? Like, do you think she's always been strategic, or do you think she just writes what she's like thinking without? She kind of knows who she's singing to, but is it her being in its entirety?
Can it not be both?
It can.
I think she's found a flavor, and she's definitely been strategic on a business angle. Like the Eras tour was massive, and I went for ages. And I didn't go to any of the shows, but man, you talk to some fans, and that was like a highlight. That was like a top 5 event of their life, right up there with their kid being born or whatever.
Yes. I mean, the shows are probably
so definitely strategic on the business end. Yeah. Definitely strategic on the business end. Songwriting, hard to say.
Yeah.
I imagine she has she will collaborate a lot in her songwriting. I know that she does. In fact, all of those artists do. They're all collaborating.
They must.
So yeah, it's hard to say. But I mean, props up.
So dance music is the biggest music, but Taylor Swift is actually the biggest music.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Dance music.
Yeah. So
What is dance music?
well, I reckon the reason dance music is one of the biggest is because it shows us that there's a different function for music now. Because like, I mean, I don't know. When are people listening to dance music? You know, when they want to dance? Probably it's called dance music. But I don't know. Are people listening to dance music before they go to bed? You know, are they just listening to dance music, or is it a reflection of our society that we must be doing something else to be engaging in the music?
I think a better label would be upbeat music. I
Mm-hmm.
think dancing puts one action in mind, but dance music's going to be used. Once again, still don't really know what we're talking about when we say dance music. Feels pretty broad. Like, is the Bee Gees dance music, or is Skrillex dance music, or is Taylor Swift's Cruel Summer dance music? I can dance to them all. I'm dancing.
Yeah.
But am I washing the dishes while I'm listening to dance music? For that sense of like, I've got a little bit of momentum. Am I going for a run? Am I pushing weights? Am I biking? Am I just walking? Does it just make me feel good? Give me some energy? It's a transmitter. It's a transmitter of energy, music.
Yeah. Yeah. And I suppose like it puts you in an upbeat mood. It puts you in a feeling that you want to do something. So when you're doing something, you feel productive and you feel good. You know, a lot of sad music might have a different function. You know, and maybe our society's sad, so we're trying to pick ourselves up with the music we listen to. I don't know.
That could be the cultural message. And as my partner has wrote on a canvas painted on the wall, when sad, dance. This is the motto.
Well, there we are. That applies.
Hey, on that note, my friend, let's listen to some local music. This seem like half local.
Cool.
We've got an artist called AISTE, who is a Lithuanian artist who's recently moved to Melbourne. We're going to listen to her song called Grow Apart, and then we'll come back and give you a little bit of an analysis. Stay tuned, folks.
Holding on to pieces that you left behind. All the things we kept in silence, screaming in my mind. How do I let go now? How do I sleep inside this room without you? When got drunk again, cold and sick, twice for school, I thought I'm a grown-up woman. I'm a child when it comes to you. Why'd you make it harder, telling me you'd come and visit soon? No, you won't do. And it all comes down back to this again. People grow apart, life can get too far. Nobody's fault.
Grow Apart from AISTE. And I hope I'm saying that right. Sorry if I am not, my friend. Rob, initial thoughts, feelings, what grabbed your attention?
Well, at the start, it kind of comes in with like a lo-fi, like all the high end is kind of rolled off, and then the vocals coming in. It kind of gives me a little bit of like a Tom Odell Black Friday feeling, but it's a bit more upbeat, you know, maybe a bit more dancey, you could say, than that, because that song's quite like soft, but something about the melodies, I feel like she might be influenced by it or something. I love the soft harmonies on both sides.
Yes.
Really soft and chill. And the bass, notice the bass isn't really in the track for a while. So when it comes in, it hits you, which is cool. It's got an interesting like chorus groove that kind of feels like a like a country beat.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah. But it doesn't have the ghost notes, so it is just kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it feels like that's implied, which is cool. So it's an interesting indie, and then you could say country blend.
Yeah. Indie country. Yeah, nice.
But it's
I
not.
like that
I don't
label.
want to. I don't want to give it country. Actually, I don't really.
No.
Yeah.
No. Her voice is very soft.
Yeah.
It's very nice voice. Caramel in the ears. Love it. I love the acoustic guitar to start.
Yep.
It's beautiful. It just sets the tone, and then her voice just layers on top of it. And I really do, like you said, those atmospheric vocal parts, sometimes non-lyrical vocal parts, were just that little crispy extra taster that we needed on the side. Yeah, I almost felt like the bass hit me a bit too strong. That could be a consequence of my headphones as well. But the song sort of it danced along.
Yeah.
It did dance along.
Yeah.
There was something danccy in it.
There's a simplicity to it.
I like the climax too. The part. It's nice. It's a nice little melody. Yeah. So I actually came across AISTE at an open mic night that I host here in Melbourne called the Listening Room. We're going to be hosting that on Wednesdays once a month at a place called the Nighthawks in Abbotsford, Collingwood area. So who knows, folks? Get down there, and maybe you'll end up in the ears of the Australian New Zealand Music Podcast as well. Any final words on the song there, Rob?
Yeah. I thought the meaning of the song is cool. So like, I think throughout the verses,
Yes.
there's a transformation in a way. I don't feel like the transformation was completely resolved. So I feel like in the first verse, it's kind of about struggling to come to grips with the fact that growing apart is happening. Like lines like, how do I sleep inside this room without you? Like, it's like, oh, I can't even fathom that idea of this is going to happen, you know? But then the second verse seems to be about facing the reality of it having happened, and then the other person moving on. And it's like, eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. Like she says, like, I wish that happened to me. I wish I could do that, you know, which is pretty much saying, like, I want to erase my memory of this person because, and then she implies that they've moved on, you know, they're with someone else.
Right.
So it's kind of like bringing us through the process, which I think is really cool.
Well, you've done really well to pick all that up, because for me, those lyrics just don't enter my consciousness so much. My ear automatically goes to the music, including the melody, and then some lines cut through, but not many.
I'm the same upon first listen usually, but then I'm also trying to figure out what, like, to me, when the song means something and like kind of makes sense when the chorus is saying something and then the verses are supporting it, it really matters. It makes me feel the song on a deeper level.
Yeah, it's almost like the frame on the picture, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, speaking of analysis of songs, GYMjot, we also offer a song feedback service, which you can send your songs into me. I will give them that one listen analysis. Maybe I'm not going to grab all the lyrics, but I'll give you what I get. Or you can send me in a, for the premium level, and you can get 12 listens where I'm looking into each specific element of the song, dissecting it in very fine detail to give you maybe some assistance moving the song forward. Maybe you're at a stuck point, or maybe you just want some peace of mind around the song. Who knows? It's good to get feedback on your songs to know how you're going to develop not just that song, but songs moving into the future too. And at the end of the day, we are just an ongoing canvas of songs that we want to keep on improving. So you can check that out. But GYMjot's Heart and Soul is all about artist development. Get your musical journey on track. The template that I offer here, another in detail process, a marathon, if you will, looking into all sorts of introspective tools, creative insights, goal setting, scheduling, tactics, habits. This is what we really excel at with GYMjot. Please do go over to gymjot.com.au and check out those services today. Now, talking about artist development more, Rob, in your experience working with other artists, what have you found to be the point of resonance that most frequently resonates with artists? The gift you've given people that gives them that aha transformation.
I think it's unraveling awareness. So, from childhood, we have many different blocks and ideas that we've been fed by our upbringing and surrounded by, so we think are normal, and then they often act as blocks of creativity because they're in the form of limiting beliefs. So it's things like, I'm not good at this, so why do this? I can't make money from this, so why do this? Even like my voice is not good, so why do this?
Yes.
So those inhibit your ability to collaborate, as well as even be taught. So like, someone will come to an artist development session, and then I'll try and get them to sing, and it'll be a real struggle in that first session. So I think an aha moment, as I said, is unraveling their awareness about why they feel these certain blockages in their expression. Because expression...
Shining the light on those blockages.
Exactly, yeah. And that's just simply through questioning, asking about their experiences. Also, me being so open with my willingness to be dumb or embarrass myself or sing badly, sing out of tune. It doesn't matter.
It's also action too, though, right? It's like experimenting with those blockages with the awareness at the same time.
Yep. Yeah. It's pushing past them through tickling them. Tickling the little pain points, and then making them kind of things we could laugh about, even. Or when you write a song about these certain things, that's the process of working through the thing, and so that it can no longer stop you.
Yeah, it has some cathartic value of the soul. Now, you've sort of alluded to one of your pillars of creativity there, which is expression. Could you tell us a little bit more about your insights into creativity, and maybe even shine a light of awareness onto some of those other pillars?
Sure. Yeah. So expression is the one where we kind of use our a form to bring to life something that we're feeling in a certain moment. It's often not iterative, so you don't kind of change it until it's different. It's in the moment. And then when you get to imagination, which is another pillar of creativity, you're then using your creative faculty to bring together different ideas and mold the expression into something that's maybe more iterative, right? But then when we use the third pillar of creativity, which is discipline, you can then bring a deeper form to those two, the imagination and expression, because it's about like containing all that chaos of the imagination, all the chaos of the expression, and then turning it into like one single perfect thing. And that's your art form, and that might be a song,
Yeah, right. Beautiful. These are some things that you can get a bit more of a deeper dive if you tune into Rob's channel on Reframe. He centers a lot of his work on these pillars, but in creative ways, funnily enough. Now, just one more question to turn it back to artist development for you, Rob. As an artist yourself, could you tell us an experience, a specific experience, or an event, or one of those aha moments for you? Something that really changed the way you act as an artist.
Okay, so I've always been an artist, and everyone always has, no matter even if they say they have or haven't. But the form becomes different throughout your life. So for me, in music, it started as like playing guitar and then writing, metal music and instrumental music. It wasn't vocal based, but then there came a time where I started to enjoy a different kind of music. So I started to enjoy the Beatles. So I like singing, right? But I realized that I couldn't match pitch with my voice. I knew I had the capability to sing well because I had the capability to perceive the notes on the guitar really accurately and bend to notes. So I could perceive music well. I just didn't have the mechanisms to do it, or I hadn't practiced the mechanisms to do it yet. So I think at that time, for me, it was maybe less of an aha moment, but more of a like, okay, so all I have to do is apply discipline to my expression of my voice, and imagine my future being able to do it. And that's singing,
Right. So this is more of a stretched out story in that you came across a hurdle of expression almost.
Big time.
You identified that hurdle and then you asked the question, how do I clear that hurdle?
Yeah.
And then you had, it was a work thing. It wasn't that overnight remedy.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, now I can apply my ear, because you're essentially saying, like, if you know how to bend a note and you know what note sounds good on a guitar, you're saying that your ear is in tune with your desire to express to an extent. But you couldn't do that. You didn't have the muscles almost in tune. You didn't have the coordination of those muscles.
But I had the music in me.
Vocal cords.
And I think a lot of people have the music in them. But they don't think that they can do it. So then they don't develop the discipline to do it because they don't develop the imagination that they can do it. And then so they can't develop that creative freedom, which is what the pillars are about.
Yeah. And that's a blockage as all musicians we deal with. Even if you are identifying as a musician, there's something that you don't believe you can do. I think a big one's production. I think a lot of people will just be like, no, that's for the professionals. Try, because the tools are becoming more and more accessible, and I'm sure you have a phone, so there's no cost barrier here to explore this skill set, and this language, and learn how to coordinate those modes as well, because it really does broaden your scope of creativity.
Yes.
All these different avenues, whether it's an instrument or a vocal lesson or, like I said, production skills, whatever it is.
Yeah. Even basic knowledge of those will increase your ability to express within them. A lot of the time, it's actually the blockage, which would be an aha moment you need to get by, would be the limiting belief that you're not good enough to be able to even learn that, or you don't have the discipline to be able to, commit to that.
Yep.
I can't commit
All the time.
Yeah. And it's, might be a reality if you think it's a reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a reality. It will be a reality if you tell yourself that's what's happening.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the narrative that you're occupying. It's all about changing that narrative, team.
Reframe.
Awesome. Reframe. Nice. All right, Rob, I reckon we can wrap it up there. That was awesome. Thanks for joining us here on the Australian New Zealand Music Podcast. Do you have any places you want to leave them with? Any links, details? Hit me.
Yes, I would love to. So on my website, as I mentioned at the start of the video, I have a songwriting database that I think would be valuable for a lot of your listeners. For anyone who writes songs, it's just a place where you can keep all of your songs in one place, including the recordings, the lyrics, the chord progressions, and it's completely free. So I would like to give your viewers value. So you can go to brooksideaudio.com and then /free resources. That's where that's housed. There's also a free sample pack on there. So it'll be super cool for people to go download that. Alternatively, you can go check out my YouTube channel, as it's been mentioned in this podcast a whole bunch, and that's Rob Reframe. And then maybe look up Rob Reframe Creativity, and that'll come up. And then my artist page on Spotify, which is Booker Brooks. And then my album name is One Way Ticket. So yeah, go check those out.
Cool. And you might have some new works for us by the time this one is in 2025.
Oh yeah.
All right, team. Alrighty. Thanks again. We'll see you in another month. Ciao.